Hi, this is Sarah with the Alertus training team, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to configure groups from the Alertus console. So in order to create groups in your system, you will need to have access to the configure system settings and come down to the groups tab. So groups are one of the primary ways to target specific devices in the Alertus system. So when you dispatch an alert message, you can select one or more groups as recipients, and a device will receive alerts for all groups that it is a member of, but it does not receive duplicate alerts if it is targeted multiple times through multiple groups in the same alert. And there is no limit to the number of groups a device can be assigned to, with one exception. The alert beacon can only be a member of up to 20 groups. So you'll see in this groups tab here, the groups I already have configured in my system. So I have one for building one, for example. If I click the edit button, I can give it a name, see the devices that are in it. I can see the contacts, and also the advanced settings is where we can set up the Active Directory or LDAP mapping, and also the mobile configuration. So I'm going to walk you through how to create a group. For this video, I want to create a test group that just includes my devices for system tests. So if you want to add a group, you will just click the Add Group button here, and you can give it a name. I'm going to name it Sarah's Test Group, and optionally, you can give it a description. I'm going to say includes Sarah's devices, just so I know what's in here. And now on the devices tab, this is where you can manually assign devices to groups. I'm going to show you a faster way that you can assign devices in mass. But since I don't have a ton of devices here, I can just do it by hand. So because I want all of my devices, I'm going to pick my computer. I'm going to pick my text-to-speech speakers and also my alert beacons. So I've selected all of these. I can just click this arrow to move them over. And if I wanted to remove one, I could do that with the arrows as well. So now all of these devices are added to the group. I can also select a contact. So I'm going to move myself over to be the contact for this group. And then the advanced settings here, this is where you can set up your Active Directory or LDAP mapping. So if you use an Active Directory for your organization and you have that set up, you can establish the connection here. I don't have anything enabled or configured for my test server. But if you do have an Active Directory that you can enable here, that will automatically add those users to this group, so you don't have to go in and do it all by hand. But I also want to come down here to the mobile configuration option. I'm going to turn this on so that I can have mobile users join the group as well. So you will get a mobile code provided to you by Alertus if you decide to go for this mobile option. And I'm going to use my mobile code for training, and I'm going to allow subscriptions so that users can auto subscribe to this group. So if I allow subscriptions, that means on my mobile app, anyone that has access under this mobile code will be able to see this group and join it. So I'm going to click add. And if I go into my mobile app that I have on my phone, now I can see this group and join it. So if I refresh and go back in to my group, I can see now I do have one mobile user, which is myself, since I just joined on the app. So that is how we can set up our group. If you have a lot of devices that you want to add to groups, you can also come into the device assignment rules here. and this will provide you a way to automate assigning groups or locations for your devices. So I don't have any device assignment rules set up now, but if you want to add one, you will click Add Device Assignment Rule. And you can give it a name. So I could say assign to Sarah's test group. Here, you can optionally give it a description. You can decide if you want this rule to assign devices to a group or a location if you have locations set up. But for this video, we're going to keep it with groups. You can select the group to assign, which we're going to pick my test group. You can also choose the search field, whether it's looking for IP addresses or specific check-in variables or the names of the devices. You can do that here. And then you can add in the regular expression rules that are going to determine which devices fall into the category to be added to this group. And if you need some help with this, you can click on the regular expression help here. That's very helpful. So this will give you a quick syntax reference guide with some practical examples below so that you can construct those regular expressions. And for a complete guide, you can also click this link to see a more comprehensive regular expression reference guide. But if you come down here, there's a syntax reference guide, which lets you know the characters, what they mean, and examples. So for example, if you come down here, if you want to match an exact IP address, you would use this regular expression rule to match with this IP address. So you can look through this and decide what makes sense for you to come up with those expressions for assigning your group memberships. If you also want to use IP addresses to assign your devices, you can insert an IP range. So you could have a starting IP address and then an ending IP address, and then everything within that range will be added to this group. So again, this is just a really great way that you can simplify adding a large number of devices to groups automatically so you don't have to go in and do it manually. But once you have your groups set up, you have your correct devices in them, you can check your group membership under the Reports tab. If you come down here to Group Memberships, this is a good way to just double check what devices are actually in your groups so you can make sure everything looks good. So this is the test group that we just created. So if I click on this link in the report, it will show me that all of these devices are in the group. Looks good. This is my computer, my text-to-speech, my alert beacons. I can also see myself as a contact and that I have joined with my email as a mobile user on the Alertus app. So this report is also helpful because you can use this link here to view alert devices not assigned to any groups. So I have these unassigned Alertus desktops. If they actually need to be in my test group or in my building one group, I can notice here that they are not actually in that group, and then that would give me a sign I need to go in and add them. So this report for group memberships, just a helpful way to check, make sure your groups all look good. But once you have your groups put together, you can very easily pull them in as recipients when you go to send an activation. So just to show you quickly, I'm going to come up here to custom activation. For my message text, I'm just going to pick my system test template. I'm going to come down here to my services. I'll pick the types of devices that I have that I included in my group. And then we can pull in those groups here under those recipients. So I can choose my group for my test group. If you want to select multiple groups for an alert, you can do that here. So you can select multiple. I'm just going to choose my test group for this example. But since I've added this particular desktop into this test group, when I hit continue and send this alert, I can see it will send to this desktop that is currently online. And I will also get this mobile notification as well. It will also show me that these devices, this alert beacon and this text-to-speech device, are in the group being targeted, but they are not online currently, so they will not be receiving this alert. But if I hit send, I can see it pop up very quickly on my desktop, and I also got that notification on my phone. So I can hit acknowledge to close it and cancel that alert. So that was a very brief, quick overview of how to set up groups on your Alertus server to target those specific recipients for your alerts. So hopefully this was helpful, and thank you for watching.